Hey Mark here, glad to see your happy face today. So I was scrolling through my Instagram and I landed on The Rock's feed. I mean, who doesn't love The Rock? Like, raise your hand if you don't love The Rock. I mean, but anyway, I landed on his post where he had posted some posters for his new movie that's coming out at the end of this month, Jungle Cruise. And these posters are neat. Like, I love the art behind them. And as a designer, I thought, can I create something close to what that is? A few elements here and there. So that's what we're going to be doing today, trying to replicate something like that. I think it's going to be a long one, so I think we're going to need some fresh music to play along so that we don't get bored. Probably African. So let's get into it. And part 4, I think for us we're going to do a 4x5 dimension because we want to post on Twitter. I'm going to put in my assets. And then firstly, we're going to be looking for a background. We're going to type in brown grunge to get a background that suits the flyer we're trying to make. I think this one will work for us. Yeah, so we shall download that and then we shall open it up in Illustrator. Put it right where we want to put it. I think, yeah, it matches what we want to get out. I think the next thing will be trying to find when you look at the poster, you'll find the font. So we need to find fonts. So the font we're going to be looking for should have some sort of Western feel to it.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So I'll come up with this one, which is old, Out of My League. So Out of My League is the font we're going to be using for the title. And then we're going to find assets for the background, like the forest. I think this one works. I think this works very well, so we're going to go with that. Yeah, it works very well. We shall add in a few leaves here and there if we need to, but for now we shall move with that. The next thing is getting it to look like how the borders are of the poster. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a rectangle and then we're going to bring in different border assets from the brush libraries. We shall find I think the charcoal, the paintbrush will help us try and mimic that edge that the poster has. I think this one works as well. You just go through them and see which one works for you. I think that will work. After doing that, you have to make it a path. So what you do is you go to Pathfinder, you make it a path, then you go up to Object, you expand it so that becomes one whole color, solid color. And then when you clip mask it, after making it a compound path, you can clip mask it with the image behind, and that image will enter that rectangle that you've made with those edges. Just like that. So clean and simple. I think we're almost there. At least we've got the background. The background is set for us now. I think next we're going to try and put in the text at the lower part. They had the Disney logo. I'm going to be using the Eastern Travelogue logo. Editor Mark here. I forgot to tell you guys about Eastern Travelogue and their great trip to Murchison Falls this July. I'm going to leave the details in the description below for you to check them out. It's going to be a fantastic trip. I've traveled with these guys and I always come back refreshed, new ideas. So I encourage you guys to travel with Eastern Travelogue. So back to the edit. I'm going to be putting in the dates for the Murchison trip. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we shall put in the Eastern Travelogue logo right there. Make it white. Yes, and then we shall bring in our dates. Try and give it a color, probably similar to that one. I think that works. Expand it, bring it in. Right. And then where they have in theaters, I'm going to put in Join the Adventure, but I'm going to use a different font because I can see they used a different font as opposed to using the same font I used for the date. We're going to group them so that they move together so that nothing else will affect them. So I think that's it for that. I think the next thing really would be the character. So for this one, we're going to be using the beautiful Eve Nakai. We were on a trip before, and I think I have one photo. Actually, no, but Zanu took this photo, but it was a great shot. I think it's the one we're going to be using. Yeah, this one right here. We're going to bring it into Photoshop. I'm going to spare you all the time. I'm just going to quick through this. Yes, when we're done, we shall bring her into our Illustrator project again, put her right in there with the forest and see how that looks. Right now it looks there's no depth to it, so I think we need to add depth to this photo. When you look at the rocks photo, you find that there's this sheep in front of him, so it adds depth to the photo. There's a foreground, he's in the middle, and the background. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for a wrecked ship, ideally. Hopefully we can find something.
More moments later.
I think we found something. I think this works. Hopefully it's a PNG. Come on. Yes, it is. Thank God. So we're going to bring that into our Illustrator file, and we're going to see whether it can work for us. I'm going to bring it into Photoshop just to make it color match what we have. It was a bit too saturated, so I think that works. So the next thing, we want to add noise. Like we've seen in the flyer, there's a bit of noise or grain in it that makes it look grungy. So we're going to just search again. Google is our savior here. Find a dust or noise overlay. We're going to bring it in, and when you're applying an image with a black background and you want that black background to disappear, all you have to do is when you place that object, you're going to want to apply a transparency mode of either screen or overlay, but usually screen is best. So you're going to just look at that here. So we're going with color dodge or screen. I think screen will work for us for this one. Again, now you can see it has applied it all over, so we want to make sure it goes away or it's not affecting her face. So what we're going to do is when we click on the image, what you can do in Illustrator, go to transparency, you'll find that there's a rectangle with a circle with a stop sign. You're going to double click on it. It will open for you almost like a clip mask, so where you can edit. Always put a rectangle which is black and white. The black part will be what is missing and the white part will be what is shown. So you play around with it. I'm going to make it a circular gradient so that you can see when you start looking at it, the effect of the noise is no longer affecting her, it's only affecting the background, so it's not affecting our image anymore. So that's what we want to do every time we want to apply an effect somewhere in our image, but we don't want it to have to effect somewhere, but not the whole image. We can easily do that there. There are so many ways to do it, but that's the way I do it. The next thing we want to do is to add a torch. Like you can see in the images, each image was having a bit of orange feel to it, so here we're going to add something like a torch. Again, Google search will help us. So you bring in the torch. What I'll do is just put it in Illustrator for reference sake. We're going to be adding circular blurred out circles of orange just to show that the light is flowing from that torch to Eve and through the image or where we think it will go. So we're just going to play around with that for now, and then we shall go back in Photoshop, and then that's where we're going to play around with the torch to make it realistic. I think we're going to be putting it around the bird. So I think after that we can put back the date. I think the next big thing is to bring in the title. So now our title, The Majestic Murchison. And again, I would emphasize right now, if you want to travel, just contact us on Travelogue. They're going to help you out a lot. It's going to be a fun trip. I hope to see you there. So we're going to be applying a gradient. Like the Jungle Cruise title has a gradient from orange to a bit of red. We're going to be trying to mimic that as well. We'll just use a rectangle, and after applying our gradient to the rectangle, we'll just bring the words on top and clip mask it, and then to enter into the title. Now we want to make it look 3D-ish like the Jungle Cruise folder, so you'll just Jungle Cruise title, so you go up to effect, go to 3D, and you look for extrude and bevel. You can see what it's doing there, so I'm going to play around with it until I get to the point where I feel like it's really good. So I think that's okay for now. Play around with the gradient again. So the next thing I want to do is I want to outline this font so that I can easily affect it. So I'm going to expand it, so that when I expand it, it allows me to play around with the background, that 3D background on the text. So I'm going to select that background and I'm going to turn it to red so that it matches. So I think that is it. So I'm gonna apply a warp effect to it to make it curve up. I think rise or flag can work for this. We shall go with flag for this. So I think that is basically most of it. I think the next text to add is now the title or the name of the actor. In this case it's Eve. Shall bring in her name. I think we shall use the same font, it works very well. Give it a warp. Rename your layers if you can, so that it's easy for you to know what you're dealing with. So we shall go into Photoshop to add our last effect, which is the torch. So we just bring it in. I'm going to rotate it in and easily mask it out. When you want to mask, you just look for that circle in a rectangle in the bottom right, click it, and then go to the brush. You'll find that the brush is black and white. Whenever you want to add, you will keep it white, and whenever you want to erase, you will make black. That's how you make that's how you play around with images when you want to remove a certain bit. So I want it to look like it's sticking out from the bird. So what I'll do is I will create a mask, make it black, and then rub it out from there. So I think that is it. I don't think I need to add anything else. What do you guys think? I think that is perfect for now. Simple edit. And after all those edits we have done, this is what we have. Beautiful flyer. So after 2 hours, that's what we've come up with. It's been really a fun process. Like, if you're still here and you've watched through, good on you. Glad you were able to watch through that. It's a long one. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time we post a video. Subscribe to the channel for more of this. And hey, always remember to deliver a feeling. It's been Mark. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.